Greetings members. So I posted this photo a few days ago on both the YouTube channel, on Patreon, and also on Discord, asking what's wrong with this picture. And that sparked a flurry of activity from the members. Really cool to see that. There were some suggestions, perhaps the dial was misaligned because of the stem, but that's due to the angle in the photo. Was also a suggestion that LeCoultre actually didn't make automatics with small seconds back in the 1950s, which they actually did. The caliber 812 is this one. So I didn't give much context, I just asked what's wrong, and of course that does spark a lot of different theories. The context I should have given is that the watch came to me running about 10 minutes late per day. But when I put it on a time grapher, it was excellent readout. Great amplitude, no beat error, straight lines, like few seconds per day off. So if we zoom in a little bit, it might be possible to see what's actually the issue here. So keep that in mind while we go to the beginning of getting this watch into the workshop. It is a very nice old watch, I think. Original dial, 10K gold-filled case. But as mentioned, it's not running as it should. So this is a friend's watch, and I just did this small adjustment for him, so I didn't do a full video of this watch, unfortunately, because it is a beauty. It is a cool movement, the bumpers. So as I was trying to figure out what happened, there aren't that many things that can be wrong. If the movement runs well, but the hands don't show proper time, then there is something with the handset. Typically a friction issue. Can be that the hands are loose, that the cannon pinion is loose, and so forth. But when we look a little bit closer at this dial, I think it becomes pretty clear what the issue is. So the cannon pinion is clearly not centered in the dial hole. It is way over to one side. So much, in fact, that it causes the hour hand to rub against the side of the dial hole. And that then creates so much friction that the hour and minute hand will slow down a little bit. So 10 minutes a day isn't crazy off, but it's of course much more than it should be. But it's thus not so much friction that the whole movement stops. So the remedy for this is to simply adjust the dial feet a little bit. And I should have probably tried to do this with the camera on the other side, but anyway. So what I do is I try to figure out where the cannon pinion should be moved to. In this case, we should move it towards 2 o'clock. And that means that we move the dial feet the opposite way. It's a little bit tricky. We have to be cautious. We don't break the dial feet. When you've done it a few times, you can use the tweezers like I do, but in the beginning it might be better to use a pin vise. That way you have a solid, uniform grip on the dial foot. So with all these things, it's better to do a few small adjustments instead of one big one, because that allows you to not overshoot the target. And if you bend this dial feet a few times back and forth, they will come off. But after some trial and error, we managed to get the dial centered, and then we can put the hands back on, case movement, and go out for a beer with our friend. Hope you enjoyed this little video, maybe a solution to the mystery. I'll be back with another video shortly. Until then, ta-ta.